is Hog Farmer Chris from the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation. And before you start listening to Red Zone in the Lab, check out our Amazon Smile, a simple way to support the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation every time you shop, and it's no cost to you.
We're back! Welcome back to Red Zone in the Lab with Deuce.
Before we get started with, I want you all to go check out You Grow Girl. That's Grow, Grow, written by a dear friend of mine, Jay Smith. It's for daily affirmations for Black women. It is filled with beautiful, colorful images of Black women and powerful affirmations. You can find it at Amazon at Amazon.com. Welcome. This is Enter the Lab live show presented by RedzoneDC, man. We appreciate all of you for coming, all of you for joining us today. Please retweet, like, send it out to everybody. Today, we're going to be our guest of the day is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. We're going to talk Bengals today, but first, before we get started, we want to send, our prayers, speedy recovery, to Brian Robinson Jr., the Washington Commanders, who yesterday, just after 6 p.m., was shot multiple times in an attempted robbery. We want to send condolences to him. Nothing else matters. Football doesn't matter. Only thing matters is his health. Only thing matters is his family. So please send prayers up to him and his family for a speedy recovery. And we also was going to do a tribute video, but because we had so many late submissions in, we want to be able to get everyone involved. We want to be able to get everyone in that video to try to get it to him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it to the end of this show. So DM me on Twitter if you would like to send, condolences, not condolences, but prayers for a speedy recovery for Brian Robinson. So send that to me, and then I'm gonna tweet it out later today, so it could get to them. Commander fans, NFL fans, anyone fans that would like to do it, just DM me. So again, Brian Robinson Jr., don't worry about nothing else but getting better, bro. I'm glad it ain't turned out as it could. So from RedzoneDC Internet Live Show, man, we send hearts to you, man, for a speedy recovery. C. Henry, what is good with you, man?
What's good, man? I hope you had a good weekend. We're a couple of days closer to this NFL season, man, and I am very excited, man. I'm very excited about the upcoming season, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I can't wait. We just getting closer and closer and closer. It kind of seemed like it would never come, but we know it's here, man. We got a few cuts today already from a few teams. We know the final cut day is tomorrow, I believe, by 4 p.m.
Okay.
So if anyone on Spaces, we do have a Commander show. We're going to be talking about the 53 was going to run at 4:30. But yeah, man, it's getting close, and I'm excited about the day, man. What you think about our guest today, man?
You know what? I want to really talk to the Bengal fans, man, because they're an excited, very, very excited bunch, as they should be. And they give an organization like Detroit a lot of hope, because there are a lot of meager years out there. They did contend during the Marvin Lewis years. I will give them that. They're a little bit closer, than us on that tip. But they give a lot of barren franchises a lot of hope out here, man. So I want to see, what they think is going to this season is going to have in store for them, and if they can complete the mission, man.
Slim, what's good, man?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
How you feeling?
Hey, man, all is good. Can't complain.
Season getting closer.
Amen. Will we 2 weeks away technically?
Man, less than 2 weeks, man. We
13
got what?
days.
We got one Thursday to go by, and then the following
yeah.
Thursday we ready to rock, man. I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's get into some potential trades. Of course, we've heard from Shefty today that there's some rumblings about Darius Slayton over there in New York. Who else over there? I know they got Kenny Galladay. What you got on that, Henry?
Well, man, it sounds like, man, a couple of folks over there, man, are a little bit of trouble, man. Kenny Galladay, formerly of the Lions, signed for $17 million per a couple of years ago. Was kind of the crown jewel of their free agent class, man. He's looking like he's on the outside looking in. You know, looks like right now they're gonna go with Kadarius Toney as their number one. We saw that Sterling Shepard was activated from the PUP list. So he's looking like he's going to be in the rotation there. And then they drafted a guy that I know that you've mentioned a couple times on a couple different shows, Wan'Dale Robinson. So those are looking like they're going to be their big three. Now the question is, how much this current regime believes in a guy like Kenny Galladay, who is making $17 million. Do they believe that he can, still reach his peak and be the number one receiver there? Or do they have to face the fact that they're going to be possibly paying a guy who's second or third on their pecking order in terms of receiving hierarchy, $17 million per, and we know that usually does not happen. Yeah. So it's interesting to see, how that situation is gonna end up turn out.
What you think about it, Slim?
I mean, listen, man, it's a dumpster fire over there, if you ask me. Get rid of what you can, I guess. Kenny ain't did nothing, and it's no realistic expectations for him to do anything moving forward with their quarterback situations, with the injuries going on, with their roster. So,
I think the dead cap for Kenny is like $34 million. I think. I mean, he just signed a big contract last year. Ooh. I mean, what he played like 14, 15 games, only had like 40 targets.
Do you think a restructure could be possibly on the table for him?
Would you restructure that deal if you was Kenny G?
I'm good.
Well, I mean, it depends on because the guaranteed money has already been paid, so it depends on really how going forward. How do I look at this? If they say, you know what, we're gonna restructure and we're gonna give you maybe 10 or 11 per, maybe 9 to 10 per, and maybe give you some type of having brain freeze here, but incentive laden deal where you can earn another $4 or $5 million. Would you take that deal versus just being cut and the check stops and now you waiting on somebody else to pick you up? So
I think that kind of depends. I don't think maybe all the guarantees is paid, but I know we already passed the date for year 2, so he's pretty much guaranteed that money this upcoming year. So when you have that, and then you have, maybe because of the offensive coordinator, right? Maybe because the scheme wasn't right. So now they have all new coaches and new scheme, but it just seems like his effort, like even in the preseason games, like his effort is not there. It's like he don't want to be there for some reason. And I just don't think it's a good fit going forward.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. I was a proponent of Kenny G, man, when he was here, and I thought that the Lions should have spent some money to sign him. But it looks like another solid decision by Brad Holmes, man, not to make that move, man, not to lock up those dollars. So kudos for Brad, man, for ducking that one.
Yeah, man. So we about to get into some surprise NFC cuts. We're gonna bring up Kayla. She's gonna give us a few surprise NFC cuts that she's potentially looking at happening. We're gonna just kind of discuss that. And after that, we're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna bring up Lady E. She's gonna be a new addition to the team. We're gonna bring up. She's gonna talk about some Jimmy G. What everybody has been talking about Jimmy G. So we're gonna get into the Jimmy G conversation. So let's bring up Kayla. Kayla, what is good? How are you today?
I'm doing good. So, how are you today?
Good, man. It's been a good weekend. I'm ready for some football.
It's right around the corner. It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Sure.
So first up, a name that it's not really to me a surprise. I think it's going to end up being done unless Tom says he's my friend. Not really friend, but unless Tom really vouches for him. but I think Scotty Miller's time is coming up in Tampa. They got a nice rookie out there, Drayden. I think his name is Drayden. Also, they got several other weapons. I think Scotty Miller's talent, he's still good, solid veteran. I think last season may have been his last season with that team. And then also another name I've been looking at, maybe for the Cowboys, Anthony Brown, that corner. They do have some young corners I've been watching all preseason who have been getting interceptions. And Anthony Brown, he makes a lot of critical mistakes, so they may end up cutting ties with him. And another name I was looking at, maybe N'Keal Harry. I think him getting hurt may have been the last straw for him in Chicago in this preseason. They did have a few receivers that stood out on special teams and also on the receiver end that I didn't even think they would, just a little bit. And with Harry, he's been up, down for so long. I think his time may be not over, but this was his last chance. I was hoping him to do something in the preseason, but that injury set him back a little bit.
Scotty Miller, that's a good name to call out there. What you think about that, Henry?
You know what? I think that's excellent work by Caleb, because when you look at, in Tampa Bay, they signed Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Then they went out and signed Julio Jones. Now they have a young man by the name of Tyler Johnson who played alongside Rashad Bateman at the University of Minnesota, who really, really was putting in work. I believe he's going into his he's a year older than Bateman, so this is his third year. So they've got some young receivers, some old receivers. We got Mike Evans, we got Chris Godwin. So like Caleb says, man, the room is getting a little bit tight. So it might be time for Scotty to get on out of there.
Yeah, man, I just don't think, man. It seems like he's going to be a long shot to make it. And that's going to be somebody that a lot of teams is going to look at for that, that third down twitchy guy that can possibly get a first time. But it looks like Godwin is going to be good to go. And of course, like you said, I got Russell Gage. So I think those guys are much better than Scotty. What you think, Slim?
Yeah, definitely. I think Russell Gage and the rookie they got out there is definitely better. I think they got Kate Otten as well. So yeah, I could definitely see Scotty Miller being on the outs.
Yeah, man, I agree. So N'Keal Henry, like he was looked to be like he was going to be one of those Belichick projects. I think it was some rumblings about moving him to tight end, but then they end up trading him. But it's kind of surprised that Kayla, you would think that he's already looking to possibly be a surprise NFC cut. Is he one of those top wide receivers that's chosen? I mean, Slim, Kayla, we've seen a lot of them come and go, chosen with high draft choices that just may not be the fit for him. What you think, Slim?
Man, I was kind of, I wouldn't say high on N'Keal coming out, but I thought he was going to be a solid, at least, number 2 possession guy type guy, but his career hasn't panned out, what I'm saying, to this point. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any type of jump start in Chicago, with the injury and everything. So,
What you think, Aaron?
I'm eager to see what they do up there, because I think it's two situations that really two folks in the situation that are desperate for each other. N'Keal Harry, this may be his last stop in terms of the NFL. We've heard about Chicago is that their lack of weapons. So if he can't make that ball club, I think it's going to be hard for him to kind of stick in the league.
Man, Anthony Brown, like that's a tough. I thought he played better the second half of the year last year. I think that would be a total surprise if they decide to release Anthony Brown. I mean, I think he played better, but I do think he's a liability. I do think they played better against poor quarterbacks last year. They're going to be playing against better quarterbacks this year, so it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, when you talk about surprises, like that would be a huge surprise.
And there's one guy that got back there. I've watched a few of their games. Sam Williams, he's gonna be a stud back there in that secondary.
Yeah, that was one of the guys I think that they talk about in some of the Cowboy spaces of possibly stepping up. Because Anthony Brown, man, like the 1920 season, man, he was just getting cooked. But he seemed to get better last year. What you think, Slim? I mean, we see that guy two times a year. I think he did pretty good last year against us.
Maybe against us, but doing good against us ain't really, what I'm saying? Like, what is that really saying until he was throwing the ball? So, kudos to him, though. I mean, Shout out to them for them W's they got last year. But no, I don't think Anthony Brown's going anywhere, and that's like far as getting cut and far as being any better than he was last year.
I think he's relatively a young guy over there. I think there was some improvement in his play. I think some folks said that, hey, we're not going to pick on saying Trayvon as much because this guy make saying take the ball back. We make they may get some catches on him, but he's liable to get an interception and make a game changing play. So again, Anthony Brown, he got picked on a little bit. He was an IDP. He was an IDP fantasy big time player.
Yeah.
Man. He had 7-8 tackles. If they caught it, at least he tackled him. He kept him in front of him. So he's a solid player in that regard.
Man, anybody else, Kater, that you kind of came across that may be a surprise cut?
Well, it's not really a surprise. People keep talking about the name, and he hasn't made no flashes. I'm gonna stick within our division. Jalen Rager. I think he's not really good. They got a lot of receivers back there, and I think he hasn't done enough to secure his spot. I think he's gone.
Yeah, I think he's dropped too many passes. I think they're trying to look for a trade partner, but once you get to the point where they know the team is not going to want you, if they're not afraid or if you have high waiver priority, you're not going to take that chance and give up assets for no Jalen Rager. What you think, Slim?
For sure. I mean, at this point, you could just cut ties with the guy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Before it's time for him to think he getting paid or anything like that, or things to, get murky and, just go ahead and sever ties, man. Just go ahead, just let him move on.
Yeah, man.
And then also, when and he's probably not. I'm not even going to throw that name out there because it's probably not going to happen. I was going to say David Mayo because I think another linebacker going to be available. I've just been praying all season. But that's just a surprise. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. But I think that the Seahawks end up with Garoppolo before the week is over or next week. Because if Smith is their starter, he didn't even play solid in preseason. Like,
I don't think Seattle wants a quarterback, but
they need one. After seeing what we saw, they
definitely need one.
Need one for what though?
I mean, to compete. I mean, I don't think everybody. My person being from a bottom feeder franchise for so long, even with a limited, talent base, you don't go into the season thinking like I'm already playing or I'm tanking for next year. I just can't think that. So if you want to give yourself a shot to maximize this season, you got to always, to me, exhaust all your options on trying to get better. And if you can get better and it's not going to, insanely hurt you going forward in the future, you got to look to get better. So any chance you can, and Locke is a total disaster. I've been telling folks since he came out of college, I'm just not sold on him, and he hasn't done anything to really prove it to me. And then Geno, we know Geno is just a stopgap. So
yeah, we know who Geno is.
If you're just playing for the draft,
they got two solid receivers.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that right after the break.
It's
all good. We're gonna bring up Lady E, and we're gonna go talk some Jimmy G. Just stand by after this commercial break. Just wait, we got some Jimmy G talk coming up.
In the lab, be right back.
There's a lot of bad stigma about shopping for a used car. Well, come visit us at iCargo Motors. We'll take care of you. We'll ensure that your experience is not only seamless and efficient, but also satisfying. Because at iCargo Motors, we believe that the best form of currency is integrity.
Welcome back to Red Zone in the lab with Duke.
What do I do? Paperwork, I will send you out your offer letter. It will probably be sent out by tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, man. So one of the things that I think about when we thinking about, when we talk about Jimmy G, is that there seems to be like three sides to Jimmy G, right? You have the winning Jimmy G that when you look at you look at their record and it's like, when he's there, they're winning. When he's not, he's not. And then you have that team that's like, yeah, he's there, he's winning, but that's mostly because of what they had or didn't have backing him up. So we're gonna bring up Lady E, and we're gonna talk about some of that about Jimmy G. Lady E, welcome to Innocent Lab live show, man. We appreciate you for coming on, man. It's an honor. We've heard you in a lot of spaces, and we kind of connected. I was like, let's bring her on. Let's talk some football. You got to unmute too.
I didn't even know I was on mute. Look at me sitting over here trying to finish up this last little thing so people can get off my back so I can be off. But no.
So introduce yourself.
Yes, what's up, y'all? I do go by Lady E _Tellum, but some of y'all probably know me as the Goddess or Ebony, whichever one of y'all want to call me. I answer to all of it. Just don't call me late to dinner because I do be eating. But I am a homer. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, so I represent everything of the A, from top to bottom, from them Braves to them Falcons to them Hawks to them Georgia Bulldogs, no tech, right. And even Atlanta Dream. So we good, even Atlanta United. Shout out to my soccer fans. So yes.
Atlanta Falcons. I like it. CANTS. I like it. Welcome. So yes, what you got on Jimmy G?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I thought he was going to work in the Shanahan system because, as you know, Shanahan was our coach when we went to the Super Bowl. So I really thought that he was going to work in the system. Honestly, for me, I preferred him to stay in New England, but I still to this day don't understand why New England gave him up. But, I thought it was going to work. Look, I'll be honest with you. I really thought that New England was going to keep him. He learned behind Brady. I thought it was going to be something. But when I seen him trade him to San Francisco, I thought, hey, look, Shanahan might come in here, probably get what they need to get out of Jimmy, but it just didn't pan out. I mean, we saw in the Super Bowl, even though we know what really happened. That was just coaching. You don't go away from what you know that you were beating them with all game. But hey, but I feel like Lance is in the perfect spot right now. I do wish they would have traded him sooner, especially for, even though I don't like them, but possibly to the Panthers, to even the Seahawks. That's kind of where I'm looking at him to go. I don't know if the Panthers are trusting into Baker right now with that. So, and then with Matt Carroll going down, and then, now Sam Darnold is being looked at. So they might can use him. I don't know. I don't trust Geno Smith up there in Seattle. He didn't have a good preseason to me with some of those games. I mean, I love Geno. I wanted the best for him, but I feel like those two would be like the perfect landing spots for him. Maybe under Pete Carroll, he can do something, but I think we've seen the Jimmy G experience go out the door in San Francisco, unfortunately, because Trey Lance looked amazing. So shout out to Trey Lance.
Yeah, he does look amazing. I think that's the best athlete. And some people, like I tweeted something out last week when we kind of talked about Trey Lance and Davis Mills. Is that is Trey Lance a better athlete than RG3, because that's the last, athlete of that nature that Kyle Shanahan had. And you see what he was able to do with 2012 RG3, right? Yeah. He took it by storm. And I think the rolling out and then being able to throw and run the things that Jimmy G really cannot do, and be able to throw the deep ball and the play action. I mean, this is like, man, I think he can do marvelous things.
Oh no, he really
Trey
can.
Lance.
Yeah, I mean, you seen what Shanahan made Matt Ryan look like. Come on now. Like, you seen what he made Matt Ryan look like. So, I mean, and that's Matt Ryan saying he loves the bootleg. He loves the play action. He loves rolling out. That's where he's at his best. I think Jimmy G was more of a Tom Brady prototype anyway. So, it was, again, I still don't get that trade. But at the end of the day, I will say that Trey Lance fits Shanahan's system a lot better. I feel like he can actually really do some plays with him, kind of what he had in Atlanta with Julio, having Julio lined up over the place, kind of getting the quarterback more so moving, since Trey Lance is a more mobile quarterback than what, Jimmy G is in this sense. So I feel like that gives them a better dynamic. You know what I mean? That gives them another threat, especially when you have it. I mean, we're seeing that now with the Falcons with Marcus Mariota being able to move and extend plays. So, I mean, hey, bye, Jimmy.
Let me ask the room something, right? when we think about Jimmy G and New England, right? How do we feel about the guy in New England now that a lot of Patriot fans saying he's the real deal? I've heard some Jets fans last week we had on the show. They say he's the real deal. Comparing those two to their rookie years or once Jimmy G kind of took the field when Brady got hurt, do you think he's kind of trajecting to the way of Jimmy G, or do you think he actually can be better? What you think, Henry?
Jimmy G versus Mac Jones. I think Jimmy is again, like I said last week, I think we've seen the best of him. He's about, he's giving us what he's going to give us. And I mean, he's an efficient quarterback, but he's not a special quarterback. And, even in his abilities, again, he's efficient, but those times he does make mistakes, they're kind of really self-destructive mistakes, and that they're hard to overcome. So, overall, I think he's a solid quarterback, but I think you're always going to have questions in those big time moments of, can you win with him? Are you going to win in spite of him? And I think a lot of what happened in San Francisco, I think, he put up decent stats. He's going to give you, again, almost a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's going to give you 35 to 4,000 yards. It's going to all look good on paper, but at the end of the day, when you're in that game against who was that, the Rams, and he's getting pressure in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna get slung around by his shoulder and just throw a 500 ball up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he only threw the one pick, but that pick was devastating. You know what I'm saying?
It was.
That's kind of how you got to look at Jimmy G. Mac, I'm still the jury's still out on Mac. He was such a limited player in terms of some of his physical abilities. I think we kind of box him in as like, he's not special, but I think from the head up, from the shoulders up, he's a special quarterback. I think he has a lot of the intangibles. I think he has some underrated arm talent, and I think he's a solid leader of men. So it's going to be, I don't know if he's better than Jimmy G. I think he's probably maybe a better locker room leader type guy, maybe a less mistake prone, but I don't know if like physically he just jumps off the page and say, oh, he's better than Jimmy G.
And man, we got Jake back in the green room for the Bengals. So they are coming in. Hey Jake, I can see you, so I know you can hear me. Trey Lance is he gonna be the next Burrow? Let me see from your face. He says no, just in case y'all was running. But Kayla, how you feel about the comparison between the two?
Yes, I think Mac Jones definitely has potential. He was put in the right situation with the right coaching staff. Yeah. He has arm talent. He actually has a lot. He's actually very intelligent. I think he just needs to grow a little bit more, but I think he will be maybe within the next 2 years, maybe top 15 quarterback in the league within the next 2 seasons. Yeah.
What's his ceiling, Slim? Like what's like, and I mean, we know Jimmy G. I think he's where he's at. I think he's where he's always going to be. I don't think there's no more to him. But what about Mac Jones? And I know we kind of went into Mac Jones, but I just kind of thought about them too when Lady E kind of brought up, when Jimmy G was in New England. Do you think Mac Jones? How high do you think his ceiling is?
Alex Smith.
Ooh.
I guess I feel like he can be, mistake free. Even with his arm talent, he might be even more, productive throwing the ball. Because he probably can throw more consistently, intermediate and deep than the Alex Smith. But Alex Smith has the mobility that he doesn't have. So I feel like that's where they kind of even out. So I would say ideally it would be Alex Smith. If he had taken the Patriots to the playoffs and things of that nature, you expect Bill to be the one to get them over the hump with the rest of the roster, not necessarily Mac Jones. You just want to see Mac Jones not regressing and not messing it up.
And I kind of think about like how long is Belichick going to be there? Like how long is he's going to be there to kind of, massage Mac Jones? You know what I mean? Because if they was to get a big time receiver, can Mac Jones feed him the ball? Like, is that going to ascend Mac Jones into, but when we think about Tom Brady wasn't, I mean, the Tom Brady we've seen like these past 2-3 years since he got in Tampa Bay is a totally different Tom Brady than what we saw in New England. I mean, I think we all can kind of agree with that. What you think, Lady?
I will say that after seeing him twice a year, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Drew Brees. Drew Brees wasn't the same person, probably about 6-7 years ago than what we saw probably in the last 3 to 4 years with him. So, I mean, at the end of the day, for Mac Jones, I didn't see a lot, and I just don't believe in Alabama quarterbacks. I'm just going to be straight up honest. I don't really believe in Alabama quarterbacks like that because we have seen like, again, I hope Tua does very well down there as the Dolphins, but as anything, with Mac Jones, I his ceiling, when he said Alex Smith, I was like, I can see it, but I don't know, because Alex Smith to me was somebody special. I don't really think he got his chance when Kaepernick came in with the 49ers, with that one, and then went over there to Kansas City, and then it was pretty much like it was over. That injury kind of messed him up too with that one. But at the end of the day, I do feel that, his ceiling is high, but it all depends on if Belichick is going to be there and what that team is going to look like. What that offensive line, especially with that offensive line, what that offensive line going to look like.
So Alex Smith was kind of like he was the bridesmaid, never to be the bride, basically. What you saying?
There you go. Basically, that's what I mean. Let's be real about it, though. Let's be real, because I when he went over there to the Commanders, I was like, okay, this is his chance. This is going to be his second chance to finally show people what he can do, what he's been doing for years in San Francisco. But the injuries hurt him. Like I felt bad for him because he was good. He was a good quarterback. I'm not gonna say he was in the top 10, but he was doable. He was doable, and I liked him. I liked how he his plays. I liked what he did, his leadership. It was just all there. I felt bad for the man though.
What's good, South? What's good? Welcome. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Hey, Eda Goddess, I'm sorry that you're a Falcons fan. You know what I'm saying? I wish y'all the best, but
hold on. Let me go ahead and say this right now. Let me tell you something. I'm from East Atlanta.
Go ahead.
We don't talk about them dirty bird like that. That's all I'm gonna
Listen,
say.
Like that.
I live in Georgia too, so there's not, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just sorry. But I do like one thing. I do like living here is anytime I want to go to a sporting event, them tickets are always available. I could wake up that morning and be like, you know what, I really want to go catch a game, and I could just go. It's
man,
fine.
you sure enough got a black kettle, South.
Hey, man.
Over here, when we
Hey.
want to go to games, we could just go like literally right before
Not the caps, though.
kickoff.
Not the caps, though. Not the caps. You can't catch the caps.
Well, hold on, but that's okay. I want to see if he keeps the same energy. See, I'm gonna be back home next week for the home opener against the Saints. So I hope you keep the same energy when I get there.
Hey.
Speaking of the home opener, so what's some anticipated games for week 1 that you got?
I got 4 of them. I didn't want to be a homer, so I didn't pick the Commanders. Sorry, Slim. Sorry, Deuce. Sorry, Kayla. I got the Bills and the Rams because everyone wants to see Josh Allen. Everybody wants to see if they still got the juice from last year. The Rams obviously won the Super Bowl, so everybody's kind of got the eye on them. Then I got the Raiders and the Chargers. The AFC West out there is crazy. Raiders, new coach, but pretty talented roster. Chargers, everybody loves Justin Herbert and what they're doing. Bucks and Cowboys, Tampa Bay. We don't know how his O-line looking.
Worst O-line.
Yeah, I mean, he don't have nobody blocking for him, but it's still Tom. No one's gonna put their money against him. And then the Cowboys, as much as we don't like those bums around these parts, they're still the Cowboys. Everybody wants to talk about them. To see them do good or not do good, most of us don't want to see them do good, but the media loves them. Packers and the Vikings.
That's
Aaron
the one
Rodgers,
I'm interested about. Yes,
Aaron Rodgers lost. Devontae, probably top receiver in the league, top 2 top receiver in the league. And he's not throwing it to anybody. He's been on like Joe Rogan talking crazy, talking about he on some, some substances during games and stuff like that. So I mean, that's nuts. I mean, he's just talking crazy, and apparently he's really not that likable. And then one of our favorite quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins. They got a loaded team. We Captain Kirk. We can't stand him over here, but some people can. They got a pretty good team. They got Jay Jettis over there. That's what I got. Those top 4.
Hey, South, we are like on the same page. Those are like the exact same 4 games I chose, man. Those are all the games I'm excited about, bro.
Hey, I'm a man of the people, man. I'm a man of the people. I try to get what the people need.
I'm really interested to see, Aaron Rodgers, because a lot of people say Devontae Adams left Aaron Rodgers, but is it Aaron Rodgers left Devontae Adams? Like, is Devontae Adams going to still be able to be the receiver he was without Aaron Rodgers? Because we know Aaron Rodgers can just find anybody and make him great. He has done that over the years. But
Dobbs, he's gonna be a solid receiver.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to seeing those games, man. But yeah, Slim. So when it comes to the Vikings, I think just like Jimmy G, I think Kirk Cousins is who he is. He is who he's going to be. I don't care who's his OC. Yeah, he got McCon. He was with him when he was with us, but it doesn't matter. He is who he is. Don't expect nothing more. Don't expect nothing less. But I will tell you to wait till the 8th, 9th round, and he can be the first quarterback you take in fantasy, because he is going to win you a bunch of games in fantasy. You can believe that, because we know
he's a fantasy quarterback.
Yes, and we know he is the stat guy. But the Raiders Chargers, that's the one. That's another one that I'm kind of looking at. How you feel about that, C. Henry? That game?
Man, that's the game of the week so far for the AFC West. 2 teams that we talked about extensively being, very much improved, going at it, right away. And after week one team is going to have some type of advantage in terms of that division. So definitely want to see how that game turns out.
I think it turns out to whoever's defense shows up the most in that game.
I'm going with the Chargers.
I like the Chargers too. I'm a big fan of the Chargers this year. I don't want to fanboy out, send on them too much. Just drafted Austin Eckler yesterday, so I'm
I did too. It's crazy. All right, so South, out of those 4 games, let me get your picks.
Oh, that's hard, man. I ain't see you and tell me how to.
Yeah, I know I didn't.
I'm gonna go with Bills, just because I think they added more pieces than the Rams did. Bills. I'm gonna go Chargers. I'm gonna go Bucks, and I'm actually gonna go Vikings.
There you go, South. There we go.
Yeah. I think only difference I got is the Raiders. I think the Raiders going to be pretty good, man. That's who I got coming up.
Okay.
I got Raiders, then I got the Packers winning because I like their defense. I like the starting defense for the Packers. They still got a run game. And big games, even though it's first game of the season, Kirk Cousins doesn't show up against in big moments. Like
neither does Rodgers though. Neither does Rodgers.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Show up either.
The game is in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. This is a big rivalry in the North, and everybody is excited because they think that Green Bay is vulnerable. So I'm gonna tell you, watch that game. Kirk plays pretty decently against the Packers too. So
and Rodgers, Rodgers don't turn it on until like week 4. Remember, relax, RELAX. And they get blown out week 1. I think they got blown out week 1 last year, right?
Yeah, everybody was over.
Hey, so I'm just saying.
All right, we appreciate you, Kay. Appreciate you, South, for stopping by, man. We really appreciate y'all. Now the time is here after this break. We bring it up, rule the jungle. We bringing up the Bengals. So let's get to it after this commercial break.
In the lab, be right back.
Hi, I'm Christian Miles, native Washingtonian and real estate agent servicing the Washington metropolitan area. I started my career as an investor and later transitioned to the residential side. I really wanted to leave the investor side because I wanted to connect with people. Building relationships is important to me. I understand the buying and selling process can be challenging. I get it. I've been there. I'm a mom, wife, friend, and neighbor. I absolutely love helping families and connecting with people. Going through the home buying and selling process is stressful enough. When working with me, I make it fun. As a realtor, I think it's important to be able to connect with you. Every detail is important, no matter how small. Let me take care of the heavy lifting while you focus on the joys of finding a new home. Something I live by, people may not remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. With me, it's an experience.
Welcome back to Red Zone in the Lab with Deuce.
They'll go from the gun. P. Ryan in the backfield. Burrow trying to keep it going.
Oh.
Spun down, gets it away, and incomplete. It looked like P. Ryan might have had a shot to make the grab, but the Rams now
Every time I watch it.
You're a hell of a player. You got a great future, man. Love competing against you. You just keep being you, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, man. Great job.
We're a young team, so you'd like to think that we're going to be back in this situation, multiple times over the course of the next few years. So, we take this and let it fuel you for the rest of our career.
Yeah, I said the new bodyguards in town, nobody's touching me.
I like to tell them, enjoy the show.
That's it, man.
Next levels, man.
It's like Madden, man. The Cincinnati Bengals Game on. Jake in the building. What's good, fellas?
What's up, Dion? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Hanging tight.
Yep. How you doing? Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Of course, man. So look, this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about this creative offense last. We're gonna do the creative offense last, and we're gonna go to defense, man. So C. Henry, start us off. What you want to know about the Bengals?
First of all, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show today. That was a wonderful edit put together by Deuce. Again, highlighting a great team, unlike he did for my Detroit Lions. So I just want to say, great to have you, and that was a great edit. So definitely happy, I'm saying that you guys showed up today. I'm impressed with the Bengals. I don't cheer for too much. Too many things coming out of OHIO. I'm saying? I'm from Michigan, so I'm saying go blue all day. But I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited about the offensive guys. But I like what you guys were able to do down the stretch defensively last year. You did make some upgrades. I believe you guys got Dax Hill, I believe, out of Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, at the safety spot. So with that being said, do you think your defense has been upgraded enough? Can they continue that momentum that they had coming down the stretch at the end of last season and carried it over into this season?
I mean, the last 4 games this season, we had 9 turnovers, right? So I don't know if it's going to be that opportunistic, but during the regular season, a lot of people misconstrue this, like the playoff defense versus the regular season defense. There's 2 attributes. One is elite deep coverage. Like Jesse Bates in the playoffs had a 35.6 passer rating against versus in the regular season, it was like 136. Okay, so he's a completely different player in the playoffs. So that's number 1. But number 2 was, we got a lot of the guys that we didn't have at the end of the season back. Like we were able to get Logan Wilson back. T. Higgins was good and healthy going into the playoffs for the offense. Like defensively, Trey Hendrickson was nicked up a little bit. He was able to play full games in the playoffs. So, I mean, like the defense of the playoffs was unreal. Do I think we'll get back there? No. But last year, points against, we were 17th in the league in the regular season. I think we'll absolutely be better than that. I think we can expect to be anywhere between, conservatively, anywhere between 13th and 10th defensively.
Yeah, I'm just ready to see the trio at safety with Bates, Dax Hill, and Von Bell. I mean, I think it could be a top 3 safety trio in the NFL this season.
So basically what you're telling me is, like, when it comes to John Bates, and I didn't learn this until, of course, you guys schooled me on it in one of the spaces about, because about all the hoopla about John Bates and the franchise tag and all these different things, how he wants to be one
Jesse
of the
Bates.
Sorry, what I say?
John Bates, Jesse Bates. You're good, Dion. You're good. You got it.
That's actually the tight end. The tight end on our team is John Bates. So Jesse Bates about that contract and about how he wants to be one of the highest paid safety. And a lot of people are like, y'all should pay him. But then you throw out those stats in the regular season compared to the playoffs. So Jake, when it comes to that, like, where's the median? Is he going to be on this team come next year? I mean, how's his relationship with the organization going into this upcoming year?
I think the consensus amongst the Bengal fans is that he's gone. Like, this is his last year, last ride with the Bengals, because I think we would rather pay T. Higgins than Jesse Bates. Keep the offensive nucleus together with Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Mixon for a couple years, and then we just drafted Dax. I mean, once we drafted Dax, I figured he was gone, personally. And I don't know how Game On. I'm pretty sure Game On feels the same way about that.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse Bates has been a whirlwind, a roller coaster, to be exact. Like, I think that he's an incredible talent in the league, and he's probably a top 10 safety. But he wants guaranteed money, and that's something that our organization just doesn't value. Like, we don't value the safety position as high as we value wide receiver, quarterback, tackle. And so because of that, we weren't willing to give him multiple years guaranteed. We're only willing to give him 1. Because of that, he didn't take it. And his agent, should be noted, His agent is David Mulligetta.
Yeah.
The same agent who just got Derwin James paid. The same agent who got Deshaun Watson paid. He's getting a lot of dudes paid out there. Kyle Pitts is up there. Michael Parsons. These guys are going to get paid. They're going to get high guaranteed dollars.
Trey Hendrickson, what type of year are you expecting for him to have?
Dude, I just said this on the space like 20 minutes ago. I expect Trey Hendrickson to build off of the year that he just had. I think he's incredibly underrated as a player. Last year, he had 14 sacks. The year before, he had 13 and a half with the Saints. Like I think he can be around the 16 sack mark. He just looks like an absolute freak in preseason and in camp. He was eating Joe Noteboom alive in joint practices with the Rams.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I know we don't look too deep into those that top 100, but when I saw him at 78, I was like, how?
Yeah.
He's had like 28 sacks in the last 2 seasons. I was shocked by that.
Man, that's crazy, man. What you got, Slim?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, they pretty much talked about the secondary, which is what I was initially going to ask about. They seem pretty comfortable with the additions they made and what's going on there. If Trey's going to be even better than what he's been, that's a boost on their D line.
That's going to be crazy.
I think the X factor for us, though, fellas, is the versatility, right? We talked about it in the draft process. When we draft for versatility. The fact is, Von Bell can play in the box. He can play nickel. He can play outside. He can play on the D line. He's blitzed in many different looks and many different coverages. And the guy can he's a ball hawking safety. So that adds a lot to our team with Trey Flowers, who already plays in the nickel and outside. If Eli Apple or Chidobe Awuzie go down, we can move Trey Flowers out there. And Jalen Davis or Alan George both have flexibility to play inside and out. So we feel like our defense, from a depth perspective, we have a lot of versatility between safety and corner where they can mix and match.
So the last thing I'll ask you guys is, so how comfortable are you guys with your coaching on the defensive side?
Jake, you want to take that one or you want me to?
You can take it.
Dude, I think that Lou Anarumo is a freaking genius. I do, and I think he showed it in the playoffs. When you look at the Titans game, a lot of the different looks that we gave Ryan Tannehill to confuse him and him, throwing those 3 picks.
Y'all put him in a box.
Of our defensive coordinator and the coverages. Yeah. Absolutely the second half. Look at either Chiefs game, the second half, just shutting them down.
Go ahead, Shutting
them down, bro. Look at Patrick Mahomes first half versus second half. Completely different player.
Why? I mean, game on. Didn't they score 3 points against us in both second halves?
In both games. First game, I think he had like 56 yards. And then the second game, I think it was even worse than that. I think it was like 48 in the second half. So, I mean, when you got a defensive coordinator, they just give you a little bit in the first half, like lets you have a little bit. And then after your plan, your 16-play plan is done, then he adjusts to everything.
Yeah,
that crazy. Just makes it a mismatch between your offense and our defense, where we're able to just take the game over, and that allows our offense to really just rule.
And that's something we weren't used to under Marvin Lewis. The halftime adjustments were not a thing.
Yeah, scripted plays is what I meant. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. You're looking at your division, and it looks like every team seems to be very, very competitive. I look at every team possibly as being at least an 8 or 9 win team, and going up. But there is a little bit of change going on in the division. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are have a little bit of change at their quarterback spot. You've got Cleveland, who's going to be in flux at their quarterback spot without Deshaun for 11 weeks. Do you guys look at the Ravens as your biggest threat in the division? I think before Lamar went down, even with the injured team, they were 8-3, and we're looking pretty formidable in that division. Who's your biggest threat, and what do you guys think you can do to become the division winner?
You can take that one, Jake.
Like you said, I think the Ravens are definitely our biggest threat. Just with if Deshaun was playing the whole season, I would say the Browns, for sure, with Deshaun in their running game. But he's not going to be there. So the Ravens, I think they're their biggest threat. I mean, they got one of the biggest weapons in the NFL, quarterback in Lamar. So you always got a game plan for him. We literally drafted a whole draft. We drafted like 3 linebackers for him. So, yeah, we built our team to stop him. And the only thing that makes me hesitant on them is their wide receiving core. I got to see something before I really think they can overtake the division from us.
Yeah, because you think about it, you could play bracket coverage on Rashad Bateman and line up 2 dudes against Mark Andrews, and who else do they have? So that's the part we're going to see.
I don't even think you need a bracket for Rashad.
Honestly, I'm being nice, dude.
I mean, honestly, I don't think you have to. Yeah, I feel you, but honestly, I don't think you have to bracket him. And I think more attention should be focused on Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. I think that guy. I think he's the truth. I think everything that he's shown us from college into these preseason games. Of course, they are preseason games, but he has been playing against the ones. So I'm very interested to see. But yeah, when it comes to the Ravens, I think they believe in the 21 and having just a receiver that can possibly get deep. But yeah, how would your defense match up against 2 dominant? I'm not gonna call Likely dominant. 1 dominant tight end and 1 potentially dominant tight end.
I mean, did you see the result from last year?
I
feel like the team was much better. I feel like the team was much better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And now it's really just us worrying about, I Likely, Bateman, Andrews, and whoever else. But I think our defense, how we have molded our defense, DJ Reader, Sam Hubbard, Logan Wilson, even Dax Hill, bringing him in. All these guys that can help us, that are great open field tacklers, that can help us against Lamar Jackson. Like, the Bengals knew drafting all these guys that the Ravens would be the most difficult team to beat in our division. So that's why they did what they did.
And now we got the tight end
to beat them.
We got the tight end stopper, Trey Flowers.
Trey Flowers has been unreal,
pretty
man.
good. Yeah.
And to get him back for like 1.85 a year, that's a steal.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the fruit, right?
Yeah.
How confident are you in the fruit? I think he played pretty good in the playoffs, to be honest with you. I mean, of course, that throw, most cornerbacks is not going to be able to cover that. The throw that we're talking about, that everyone is kind of leaning on you guys about this whole summer. But how confident are you all this season in Apple?
You can go first.
Yeah,
I'll go.
You want to go?
You got it.
All right. Eli Apple, most people don't know, gave up 512 yards last year and 3 touchdowns. He actually wasn't targeted for like 6 games straight, and that's because of the scheme that we used with him. We were able to do 2-man look, and it's zone, so we had the safety over the top. And a lot of the times with Bates over the top, teams weren't throwing towards Apple. They were taking their chances with Chidobe. And with Chidobe just being the corner that he is, having the bounce back year that he did, he was probably one of the better corners in the league. So it'll be interesting to see how we scheme with Eli. But when Eli has had his opportunities, man, he hasn't looked bad. Think back, we brought him in as a corner 4 to help out with depth. And Trey Waynes didn't play. So he stepped into that corner 2 role, and I think he did a pretty good job if you take a look at the overall year that he had.
Yeah, I think it was a bad timing for him because, I mean, he literally held his own against Kupp until the last drive of the game. And he gave up like 60 yards and then he had the holding and then the touchdown. So it's like...
Well, the Kupp was against Logan Wilson for majority of the drive.
Yeah, it was just a...
Eli gave up 3 catches for 19 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, and it was the holding penalty in the end zone and then the touchdown at the end of the game. So everyone's leaving that bad taste in their mouth. So,
what'd you think about Apple, Henry?
I think that he had a redeeming year last year. I think a lot of folks didn't really expect him to be as effective as he was. He stepped up. I'm eager to see what he does this year coming up because I don't know, man. Was that a one-off? Was that an aberration, or is it a product of the defense, like they're saying? You know what I mean? So I'm eager to see how he does this year. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little thrown off. You said about the fruit. I said, well, who was that? I was just waiting to see who you're talking about.
The fruit is so crazy.
Can we be honest though? We need Apple to go to New York at some point and pair up with sauce so we can get applesauce. We gotta get that, bro. I gotta have
that.
Man, sauce, man. He's something else. He got his own. Sauce. I guess he got his own sauce. Yeah, sauce. That's crazy.
Sauce is crazy.
It's sauce. All right, let's get to the offense. And like I told you, I think I was in a space a few weeks ago, and I came in there all enamored about Higgins, right? And I was saying how he's a number one receiver on most of the teams in the NFL. I think because of Chase's year last year, I think people kind of forget what T. Higgins was prior to his rookie year. He got over 1,000 yards receiving. He was very dominant. And I think people kind of forget that because, the big year that Jamar Chase had last year. I mean, he even had a big year too, right? So I think it was just overshadowed. I think you all have arguably two number one receivers. I mean, even in fantasy, it's like Higgins. I mean, Chase goes first round. Higgins is not going past 3 and third round in most drafts. What do you all have to, give us some stuff about T. Higgins? How do you all feel about T. Higgins?
Let me throw out a stat here. So I always keep this in my phone because I
know. Before you go, Jake, right?
Okay.
When Game On came on the pod last week, I said you guys and the Dolphins are the stat fan base. It's like you all have all types of stats, whatever you want. You all can back up whatever argument you all want to go. But I appreciate that. And the Dolphins, man, they be having stats from out of. I'll be like, where y'all get this from? But go ahead, Jake.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. He's one of 6 receivers in NFL history to have 60 catches, 900 yards, and 6 touchdowns in his first 2 seasons, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Like I don't remember the list, but I'll remember that stat always. But I found that pretty crazy. But yeah, if they bracket Jamar this year, I don't see how this dude's not going for 1,300 yards, 1,200 yards.
Oh man, that's what I need. I just drafted T last night, man. I need that.
I got him in a couple of my drafts.
And if you drafted Jamar, you who drafted Jamar out there, we're gonna move him into the slot a lot this year, so he's gonna have those mismatches as well. But
That's
yeah,
crazy,
man. However you feel about a CD Lamb, T and CD Lamb, when you put their numbers up next to each other, they're identical. They're identical. So however you feel, and CD Lamb gets a lot of hype. Our guy T. Higgins
gets too much hype.
Our guy T. Higgins doesn't get any hype at all. He's kind of like this underrated wide receiver that people know about, but they don't want to talk about him.
Oh
He's so physical. He's so physical in space. That's how we use him. He's a very physical wide receiver. Go ahead.
I like T a lot. I think that when you look at his skill set, like you guys said, I mean he's a big body receiver who can do it all. He's dangerous in the red zone. He's a short to intermediate threat with his size, being able to outbody guys. But I think he's sneaky fast though too. I think coming out, folks didn't really, look at him as a guy who can, be a big play receiver like he has shown he can be. And it's choose your poison. It's either Chase or him. And he had a big year last year, and I believe he missed 2 or 3 games last year as well.
He did. So he missed 3 games because
he almost had 1,100 yards last year. So he's a big time player.
Yeah, he'd be the number 1 on every team in our division.
Outside
of us, I think.
Yes, sir.
He'd be a number 1 on a few teams.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Tyler Boyd. How excited are you all for him coming into this year as being the 3rd receiver?
Game on. You want to go?
Yeah, no, I can take it.
All right.
So I think Tyler Boyd is Mr. Reliable in this offense. I think Tyler Boyd, other than the drop in the Super Bowl, that's his first drop in 2 years. Like, he's just Mr. Reliable. He runs all of his routes so pure. He finds ways to get open. He's just a technician on the field. You think about a Cooper Kupp who is able to get himself open and find leverage against linebackers and nickel corners. Like, that's how I think about Tyler Boyd. I think he's just a really solid number 2 in the league, and some would even say like a completely underrated wide receiver in this offense.
What you got, Slim? Who's one of your favorite players on the Bengals offensive side of the ball?
Probably Tyler Boyd. I've always been a fan of Tyler Boyd, so it's, you know, I understand what Jamar looks to be headed towards. I know what T. Higgins is. I agree that he's number 1 on most teams, but Tyler Boyd is just, he's my type of wide receiver. He's the route running guy that's always open. So,
what you got, Henry?
I'm eager to see what, you know what I'm saying, the offensive line does. You got a lot of upgrades up there. You brought in Lyle Collins, you brought in the guy, I believe, from Tampa Bay. And I'm a big Joe Mixon fan. So I'm eager to see what he can do on the football field, on the ground. And he showed a little bit more juice in terms of the passing game. I know my guy Chris Evans is up there getting a lot of passing down work as well. But I'm in a real big fantasy football state of mind. So Joe Mixon is definitely on my mind. And I'm eager to see what he does this year.
And think about this, too. One of the things that we did this year compared to last year, bringing in this offensive line, last year Joe Burrow was getting hit on average between 2 to 2.5 seconds after the snap, right? This year, with an offensive line like this, we can go empty and feel good about Joe Burrow having time back there in the pocket for these plays to be able to develop. Last year was a lot of go routes to Jamar Chase and a lot of him in the slot and trying to, you know, win against nickel. And then T. Higgins over the top and contested. So this year, for those plays to be able to, you know, formulate, that's going to be great for our offense. Like, it's just going to be a completely different team, I think.
Yeah, I think Mixon's looking like he's going to have a career year this year. Because, I mean, he's never ran behind the offensive line that's been worth anything. We finally got the.
Let's talk big picture now, man. You guys went to the Super Bowl. You got a little bit of a taste of what it feels like to have some success. Now you come back the following year. You've got an improved offensive line. Joe Burrow is a year removed from his knee injury. You got a little bit of your division is a little bit in flux. KC lost Tyreek Hill. Who is your biggest threat in the AFC? And are you guys the big dogs in the AFC yet, or y'all still puppies?
Puppies.
Poodles.
You want me to go first? I'll go first. I mean, I think it's obviously the Bills are the biggest threat.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, with Josh Allen, they've been to the division round, championship round. They just can't get over that Chiefs hump. Which
now, Jake, I'm gonna pause you right now because yesterday we had some Bills fans on, or Friday we had some Bills fans on. Deuce, you notice how the Bills said their rivalry was the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
These Bengals have already popped the Chiefs, so they don't even care about Chiefs no more.
Yeah, that's old news.
They're already popped. They ain't even no rival or nothing. So that's how it works. Once you pop them, they disgrace. They over with. They done with it. Finito.
Yeah, but I've the only thing that bothers me though is like I feel like the Bills get way too much love in this offseason. Like they're like a shoe-in.
They're not the ones who made the Super Bowl, huh?
Yeah, I'm like,
you see how the rivalry starts? There it goes. There it goes.
The roster is impeccable.
I feel you. They are getting a lot of love. They are my Super Bowl pick, unfortunately. But hey, if y'all guys want it, you got to go through them. That's how I go.
Yeah, we got them week 17 at home. Could be for the number one seed. So we'll see.
That's gonna be a good one, man. I don't really like that scheduled game for the last game of the season. Man, I know implications could be in play, but I'd rather that game be a little earlier than that, just in case. I mean, you never know. You know, so they might already be clinched, or they might not care. Then they don't give us what we really want to see. But all right, so like one of the people asked about the Super Bowl hangover, because we know that. I mean, we all can agree that it wasn't kind of expected for y'all to go to the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bills kind of like what Henry alluded to. The Bills kind of felt like if Lamar didn't go down, they would have had that spot in the playoffs. They had so many injuries and Lamar or whatever. The run that you all had, and we saw what happened to like the Giants. They had a couple of those type of runs, right? What is it? Is the expectation coming into this year Super Bowl or bust? How are you all looking at this year?
Yeah, it has to be. Has to be. I mean, we have to be considered the team to beat in the AFC. We have to be considered, you know, in our minds, we have to be considered Super Bowl favorites because we just got there with such a young team. Majority of them back, only lost 2 guys and added to the roster in various ways and really upgraded the weakness that we had, which was the offensive line. So we have to be the team to beat. It has to be Super Bowl or bust. And it's an exciting time to be a Bengals fan, man. And if you talk about Super Bowl hangover, none of those quarterbacks, when you look at the Super Bowl, were in their rookie contract coming back the following year after having lost.
And with a top 4 receiver, top 7 running back. And I just don't. None of them had the weapons like we
you
do.
look position for position. You can look at any team, position for position. The Bengals are there, man. They can beat anybody in the league, and they're just out to prove it. Humble and hungry.
With the NFL being war of attrition, I mean, and the AFC is real cloudy, it's real smoky over there. You know, over here in the NFC, it's clear land. You can see exactly where you're trying to go.
I think. Go ahead, Game.
I was just gonna say. I mean, you've already seen in our division, it's kind of like set in stone that, yeah, the Steelers, they have Mike Tomlin, but I mean, let's be real, they have a bridge quarterback. Their team is like kind of not in a rebuild mode, but they are in a rebuild mode. Is what I would call it. At some point, I would expect Kenny Pickett to be in there this year. The Browns are a team with no quarterback right now. You can say that Jacoby Brissett gives them an opportunity.
Brisket does not do that.
Yeah, and their wide receiving core is not. It's nothing right now, man. There's a lot of
the shade they throw towards the Ravens wide receiving core. They should give the same energy to the Browns.
Yeah, but the Ravens, they are a team, and they could win 11 to 12 games. It's because their quarterback, it's because their defense and that secondary looks nice. So we will give them their respect. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, just having a team that has been there, done that, the continuity that they bring, the unselfishness that they play with, you can't help but be excited and think that it's Super Bowl or bust for this team. And they got to approach every single game like it's their last.
I want to talk a little bit about the debate between Jettis and Chase. Let's get into that. Let's get into Jettis and Chase. Where are you all? No, let's go to Henry first, because I know where y'all leaning at. Let's talk about. Then we're gonna go Slim, and then we're gonna come back to y'all.
Again, you come up with the term, man. Jetta. Who is Jetta?
Oh my, where have you been? See, this is what happens when you're in Michigan, over there by 8 Mile. You don't have good service.
Oh no, I got service. I just I'm old, man. You see this gray? You see this gray, man? I be working all day, man. What's going on? Jetta who?
Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson.
Oh, okay. I know him as Justin.
He said Jetta what? Jetta who?
You know what? That's a great. Hey, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, man. Because like I said, I'm a big fan of college football, bro. And 3 years ago, when they were playing together at LSU with Joe Burrow, man, it was just like poetry in motion. But at that point in time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I felt like in that draft, Justin was definitely the best receiver coming out because he had position versatility. He had played inside, he had played outside. He was a tremendous route runner. He had shown great speed. I didn't know he was going to run a 4.3, but once he did, that pretty much solidified him to me as that number one receiver in that class. And there was a bunch of good receivers in that class. But with all that being said, that national championship game they played against Clemson, actually, and T. Higgins, I believe, was in that game as well. it was clear. Chase was as much as I like Justin. Chase was on another planet, bro. He was on another planet. I mean, just his route running ability, his hands, his smoothness in and out of cuts, his size. You know, Justin was a little bit slight. You know what I mean? Chase, you know, he could, you know, dance on you, or he can run through you. You know, if he gets a, you know, head of steam going, he can run through you. So very physical guy. And you see that the year that he had that year with the year off of football. So he's just scratching the surface. They're both dope receivers. I think Justin has definitely been able to spread his wings a little bit more, being in an offense that's, you know, basically tailored to him, and he doesn't have folks like Torrance. I'm sorry, I can't think of his last name, but the guy in Carolina, as well as Chase out there as well. So, Torrance Marshall. So Chase, they're both special guys. I'll give Chase a slight edge, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, and my man is gonna definitely get his gritty on. I do know about the gritty.
Slim, who you got?
I'm taking Jettis.
Oh, you gotta give us more than that.
For 2G. He told us for 2G. I remember that. I got Kirk Cousins around 10 last night because you said he's going for 2G.
Yeah, I definitely got Jettis going for 2 bands this year. The man, the route run is impeccable, man. And where I would have edged Chase, or I probably still will edge Chase with the physicality, like Jettis has proven that he's going to get the yak yards. He's physical at the point of catch. So for me, I'm taking Jettis, man. I'm taking Jettis.
All right, Jake, who you taking?
Jamar. It's not even. I mean, it's close, but I mean, I think Jefferson had like 27 more catches and only had like 100 more yards, 150 more yards in him. He had 3 or 4 less touchdowns, and that's in year 1. I mean, year 2 is going to be even crazier.
Yeah.
I think we're going to target. He's going to get a lot more targets this upcoming season than he got last year.
I will say this though. I do think that T Higgins does kind of cap Jamar's ceiling just a little bit statistically. But I mean, in tandem, they're great together. Joe Burrow couldn't ask for a better tandem.
Oh yeah. So Jake, I mean, so game on. When you hear people say, and I do not agree with this, when you hear people say, well, that was his rookie year, I need to see more.
Man,
how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
I feel like you're not watching the fella. I feel like you're just not watching Chase play. Between those two dudes, Jettis and Chase, Jettis, you're absolutely correct. He's the better route runner. He's the guy who's the reliable target on 3rd down. Chase is the 60-plus yard touchdown monster. He's the guy who takes the ball and is so physical with corners that he can literally run 80 yards for a touchdown. So he's going to have a lot of yards, less volume, more touchdowns. It's really pick your poison, but like the physicality of Chase and what he brings to the table, that's what everybody should pay attention to, because that's not going to go away with him in the slot, outside. You know, if the Bengals have more time to throw, if he's receiving the ball, less yardage, he's still going to be physical.
Yeah, moving him into the slot, you could see moving him into the slot, you could see like a triple crown type season. I think, yeah.
Who, Jettis? From Jettis?
Nah, from
Chase.
No, the Bengals are gonna. The Bengals.
I think when you look at them, I don't want to put too much pressure on them. But I think when I look at like a Chase, and this is just schematically and how they play, I look at Chase and I see kind of like a Jerry Rice type guy. I mean, a ballerina in cleats, a guy who can really, you know what I'm saying, get to where he needs to go. And quickness personified. And when I look at Chase, I get a little bit of T.O. in his game, just physically. I mean, he's a beast. He's fast. He's strong. He's everything you want, but just physically imposing at times. I mean, able just to destroy a guy at the jam. Destroy a guy at the jam. Hey, hand up. Let's go. Give me the rock. You know what I mean? So I think those are kind of the differences in their game. But, I mean, both are extremely effective, and we would love either one of them in Detroit. I don't know when they become free agents, but come on to Detroit, fellas.
Oh man, that's just nice. All right, so What are we talking about this year? Give me a record, some predictions. This year, what are we talking about?
I think for me, a reasonable record for us is 12-5. I think I'm gonna stand firm at 12-5. I think this team is battle tested. Last year they were -1 in one-score games. This year we hope to be on the positive side. Last year there's a lot of stuff that didn't go in our favor last year that I think will this year. Like we were 27th in red zone efficiency. We were 10 punts on first drives of the game. And 2 of those were interceptions, and then we also had 2 fumbles on top of that. So that's 14 games right there where you didn't score a touchdown on the first drive. Like there's a lot of things that are going to go our way this year that just didn't last year, and I think that pays dividends.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. 12-5. I mean, I'll go out there and say 13-4. You know what?
Why not, right? Why not?
Wait, why not say 13-4? And then when we go to Tampa Bay, Tom's gonna hand the reins over to Burrow when we beat him in Tampa Bay late in the year. So just the red zone offense. If that improves even to like top 15, I don't see how we don't score almost 30 points a game this season.
Right. We were seventh. We were 7th in points for last season. So imagine 27th to 15th. We should be top 3.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. So what are we talking about? Super Bowl?
Super Bowl of best, they say.
That's what they say. I don't
Super
agree.
Bowl.
I don't agree with him on that. I don't. It's so hard to get back. Like I've seen it once, but it's so tough. If I say anything less than like going to the divisional or AFC title is a failure. Anything less than that, it's like if we lose in like the wild card, yeah, I'll be pretty upset.
I just think in year 2, if we don't do what the Chiefs just did for 4 years, we're going to be considered frauds.
No, I agree.
So that's the way I look at it, and you got it. You just humble and hungry, man. One game at a time.
Even in a competitive AFC conference, you think that you guys are going to be in the mix, like in the Super Bowl and the AFC title for the next 3 or 4 years straight?
We should be considered a contender. There's no doubt about it. We should be considered
I consider you a contender, but you said do what some say KFC. What KC is doing. I'm sorry.
That's wild. KFC is wild.
Kentucky Fried Chiefs is crazy.
Yeah, but I think we should. I think we'll be there. I mean, our Super Bowl window is what? We got like 3-4 more years of it.
Okay.
With everyone on the rookie deals.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't get one in that, it'll be very upsetting to me. If we don't get one in these next like 4 years, it's gonna be tough.
See, I could put my money down faster on y'all winning one in the next 4 than y'all just being in the AFC Championship game the next 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just the NFL, man.
Yeah, I don't see us like going to the AFC title every year and hosting it every year. No, like the Chiefs. I don't know about that. That seems that's tough.
The Chiefs Invitational.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing this team. Of course, it's going to also depend a lot on the draft and being able to bring up guys and kind of help them with this window, because sooner or later it's going to close. But if you can get those top guys, you could be able to pay them and be able to fill the roster with more rookie contracts to kind of keep it going. I think that is going to be very important. But I thank you, Game On. I thank you, Jake. It has been a pleasure to have you guys on. We appreciate you taking the time out today. It looked like y'all had a pretty hot spaces going on. I was about to come in there and be like, man, y'all got to end this.
Dion, I kept it going. I grabbed my laptop and it was just bugging out. So I kept it going. I ended it abruptly and I came in.
You guys, did you guys see the 49ers are keeping Jimmy G?
Yeah, dude,
I just told them. I told them.
Oh my God! I mean, if you know
why
this
do
man,
the Seahawks want a quarterback? They don't want a quarterback.
If you know this man, bad guy, this man Cash right here, this man is gonna be living rent free in these 49ers heads.
Oh yeah,
all season long.
I mean, did you see his I don't know what his breathe through appearance earlier?
Oh my goodness.
He came into spaces, breathe through. He had his Abby and everything.
Yo, bad guy is the #1 troll in NFL Twitter.
This dude, he be in like the soccer, the Premier League spaces trolling. The guy's wild, man.
He's the greatest at what he does.
Man, but again, man, I do appreciate y'all, man, for taking this time. Game On, of course, is your second time. You know, you came on a podcast one, now a live show. I do appreciate both of you guys coming on, man.
Yeah,
really
man.
Appreciate you, Deuce.
Yep. Let's go to this commercial. Then we'll come back with the final thoughts from C. Henry.
Be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just coming to you all. Just wanted to share these amazing Tava products with you all that has helped me drop 60 pounds over a year and a half. So look, I'm going to start out with our flagship product, which is our Facia Detox Tea. When I tell you it's amazing, it's going to clean out your upper and your lower intestines. And also, Facia stands for empty in Spanish. That's the first part. Now we have Valate 30, which is vitamin and liquid energy for 30 days. Now, once you detox, it's going to take out good and a bad. So this right here is going to put everything good back in your body, all the nutrients you need. Now this here is a flare. The flare will definitely get you there. It has no caffeines, no sugars. You will not have jitters. It's all natural, and it gives you great energy. Last but not least, we have our CBD infused coffee, Caprice. Colombian blend. It helps keep you calm. Does not have any caffeines or sugars. It's all natural. Chaga mushrooms and Garcinia gambodia, which is good for memory. So if you want to try any of these amazing products, all you have to do is reach out to me. You can reach me on Facebook at Van Thomas or Instagram at Van_the Detox Man. If you want to reach out, just hit me. I'll gladly get back to you. Peace.
Come back to Red Zone in the lab with Deuce.
C. Henry.
What's good, man? Is this the final thought?
Yep.
I would just like to say, man, everybody, man, make sure that you are doing your due diligence, you know what I'm saying, on your fantasy football teams. There's a lot of information going on right now, a lot of cuts, a lot of coming and going. Just to name a few, we saw that Sony Michel was cut in Miami. We see that Laviska Shenault is being traded from the Jaguars to the Carolina Panthers. And as was just, reported by Jake, you know what I'm saying, on here, broke by Jake, you know what I'm saying? We got Jiggy G staying in San Francisco. So definitely, this is a big week for fantasy football, man. I had a couple drafts yesterday, and I'm very happy about my teams. I'm in midseason form. I got a Picasso and a Monet so far, so I'm very, very happy right now. But definitely do your research and keep a track on what's going on in the NFL. And I'm excited for the season, man. I can't wait. College football kicking off this weekend, and then Thursday the NFL is here. Christmas in September. Hallelujah.
Facts. That's a fact.
Yeah, man, we appreciate that final take. And Jake did break it up. First, I was like, hold on, I wonder what he just talking like some stuff. But I was trying to pull it up real quick. But I guess we need to hire somebody to send me breaking news. Appreciate that. But
I don't know the details, but
it seems the details are Jimmy Garoppolo agreed to a restructured contract worth $6.5 million guaranteed. So I don't know. Now, I mean, that'll make him a backup, but that also lowers his dead cap. So that could be a trade too. So.
They saw Trey Lance and they were like,
but
Carl, I had to say to you, go blue. I'm a big Michigan fan.
Oh, you're in Ohio? Okay. Yes. We'll take it. That's a very key point that you said, the $6 million guarantee, because like you said, it makes it more palatable to trade him. At $29 million,
that's what I was saying.
Going to trade for him, unless they were going to pay a significant amount. So this is a win-win from San Francisco. They get to lower that cap number, maybe free up some dollars to go get some free agents or something, for their team, and also make the trade hit more palatable for another team who's interested. One last thing, I know it's a final note. I hate to go too long, but do you think they will trade him in division to Seattle?
I don't see. Maybe now because his cap is lower. I didn't think so at first, but if they offer up something, but I think they did this because they knew they had to do it. And I think there are teams out there that were saying that yes, we'll trade for him, but not at that number. I just don't know who that would be. But not the Jimmy G help.
Man, I'm telling you, it's the Brownies. Watch the Brownies. They got $48 million on the books. They can go and get them. It's the Brownies right now for me. And that makes the Brownies a lot better than what they currently are with Jacoby Brissett.
That's crazy. The Brownies. Again, appreciate you all. Appreciate everybody for listening. Appreciate everyone for watching RedzoneDC and as the live show. We appreciate you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.
Welcome to DC. You know